Today, I'll be working on a 2006 Scion XB.
The truth.
Alright, so this video, we're going to be changing the oil on the Scion XB. Well, first things first, let's get the front end of this car jacked up in the air so we can access the drain plug underneath. Now I am going to set the e-brake just so it doesn't roll anywhere, because my driveway is on a slight decline. So when I jack up the front of the car, I don't want to go anywhere. I'm also going to be putting a wheel chock on this back wheel right here, just also so it doesn't go anywhere when I jack up the front end. But let's go ahead and get this front end up. Alright, now that both sides are secured up in the air on jack stands, I'm going to go ahead and pop the hood so we can open up our oil filler cap. That when we open the drain plug, it doesn't create like almost like a vacuum suction kind of situation. It allows it to flow freely. So we're going to open that cap up. So when I take the cap off, I always put it upside down like this. That way there's still an air gap, but debris can't fall in there while I'm working. Now be sure to grab yourself a drain pan, slide it into place, and our drain plug on this one is a 14 millimeter. Double check your own car, but that's what the size on this one is. So let's go ahead and pop that drain plug off really quick and start draining it into our oil pan. Once your oil's done draining, you can go ahead and put your oil drain plug back in. Alright, now my old drain plug did have a crush washer on it, but this thing is pretty crushed. And I don't have a new one like this, so what I'm going to use is a little rubber washer and stick it on there. That way it seals up against there, and then when you torque this guy down, that'll kind of flatten out a bit and then give it a good seal. So let's go ahead and get this back on the car. Don't forget to tighten it all the way up too. Next, we're going to be taking off our old oil filter and putting a new one on. Sometimes you can get these by hand. Nope, this one doesn't want to move. So I'm going to grab a pair of pliers on it and get it off that way. Now there are different styles of filter wrenches. This is the one I'm going to use. There's also like the strap kind. And then there's one of like 3 prongs that come up from like the bottom side and twist it. Each one has its own benefits. This one I think is going to work best for me in this situation. So just figure out what works best for you and use that. So once this area is done dripping, you're just going to take like a rag and make sure that this surface is clean and the old gasket didn't stay on this surface. It would be like a black O-ring. You'd definitely notice it if it was still on there. But we just want to make sure it's going to have a good clean surface for when our new filter goes on. Now I just went with the Federated brand. Pretty much just the cheapest one. This is the part number for their oil filter. Now we're going to take our new filter and we're going to fill it up with oil. Because it mounts vertically like this up under the engine, we want to fill this thing up with oil as much as we can. Don't forget to lube up your O-ring that goes on this filter, just so it makes a good mating surface whenever you put it onto the car. Now we're going to go ahead and thread the new one onto the filter housing. So what I like to do is I like to put the date and the mileage on the filter. That way if anybody comes up behind me and does work, they know when the last oil change was done. Alright, now that we got our new filter on and our drain plug in nice and tight, we're going to go ahead and move our drain pan out of the way and get the Scion back on the ground. Alright, now that it's back down on the ground, we can go ahead and get our wheel chock out of there. It's not going anywhere. And now that it's nice and level, relatively speaking, we can go ahead and start adding some oil to the engine. Now these cars take 3.9 liters of oil, so just shy of 4. So we're going to pour until we get full on our dipstick. And then we're going to run the engine a little bit and then recheck our dipstick. Alright, so our full mark is right here. So I just cleaned it off. I'm going to re-dip it, pull it out, and make sure we're right at that full mark. If we're a little above, that's fine. If we're a little below, that's fine. But if we're too low, then we got to keep adding more. So let's go ahead and re-dip this really quick. I don't know how well you can see that, but we're still a little low. I'm going to add a bit more till we get about to the F for the full mark. The camera will focus. There we go. Now you can see. It's right there, maybe about half to a quarter inch away from the full. So we're going to add some more really quick. There we go. Now we're right on the F. So we're a little bit high, but I'm not worried about that because when we run the engine, the oil is going to slosh around in all the valleys and everything. And it should come down just a bit. It'll probably come down just below the F. So let's go ahead and get our funnel out of here, put our cap back on, and we're going to let the engine run for a few minutes. All right. It's run for a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and shut it off, and we're going to check the oil level again. Alright, it is right there, just underneath the full mark, so I'm going to add just a hair more oil. I don't know how well you can see, but it's right there at the full mark, so we're perfect on oil. Alright, I know it's not a hard job to change oil, but it is a job that everybody should know how to do. So I hope this video helped. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down in the comment section below, and I'll try and answer them as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. If you like any of the background music that was in this video, check out the artist's SoundCloud. Link is in the description.